A coil of wire in 1830 was said to have a property all its own, which was called resistance. This was a property of this coil. You could measure it by measuring the ratio of the voltage across it to the current flowing in it. So I will pass some DC into the coil. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes, we will. Pass AC into this coil. We've got about 5 amps of it, have we? No, less than that. We want some more. That's it. About 5 amps of that, yeah. And then we can use a second coil merely connected to a voltmeter. When I put this second coil on the top, it gets some induced voltage by a mechanism which I do not understand, and I suspect that neither does anyone else. But if I turn this second coil at right angles, it's always been our experience, you can find a place where the voltage is 0, as long as the coils remain at right angles. It's as if they lived in separate worlds and didn't want to know about each other. Now, in that respect, I was reminded by a drawing by M.C. Escher, who's done many marvelous drawings, that it was like the drawing of the men on the staircase. And of them, the artist himself said, here we have 3 forces of gravity working perpendicular to one another. Here is an artist being more of a scientist than we are ourselves. 3 earth planes, he said, cut across each other at right angles, and human beings are living on each of them. It is impossible for the inhabitants of different worlds to walk or sit or stand on the same floor because they have different conceptions of what is horizontal and what is vertical. Yet they may well share the use of the same staircase. On the top staircase, illustrated here, 2 people are moving side by side and in the same direction, and yet one of them is obviously going downstairs and the other upstairs. Contact between them is out of the question because they live in 2 different worlds and therefore can have no knowledge of each other's existence. They remind me sometimes of a chemist and an engineer. Although the artist has only used the trick of perspective to influence the mind of the observer, it is a lively, healthy influence indeed for me.